So what do we expect out of Derrick Henry this year in his first go-around with the Baltimore Ravens? This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. Guys, hit that subscribe button. So anybody who's been a follower of this channel, and even going back to my days with the website, knows that Derrick Henry is somebody that I pretty much have faded every year in fantasy drafts. The number one reason among that, taking nothing away from the player, he's been a great player, future Hall of Famer, is that he doesn't catch passes, and I'm always in PPR league, so I always fade the Derrick Henrys, the Nick Chubbs, as electric runners as they are. There's certainly a less margin of error on a weekly basis because they don't catch the football, so you need that 100-yard rushing game and a touchdown to have that good outing. But again, it's not a knock on the player. Derrick Henry has clearly been one of the best players of his generation at the position, and he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. And he's 30 years old now. He's starting to slip a little bit, all right? So some of the blame could be put at the foot of the rebuilding Tennessee Titans last year, certainly. But, the last couple of years especially, you could see, the average has come down a little bit. He doesn't have that explosive rate that he used to have earlier in his career, but the numbers are still really good, despite facing consistent loaded box defensive lines in the box last season. Henry, 1,167 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. He actually did catch 28 passes, which, and 33 the year before. So he's not a complete zero there. But that, and especially now with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, he's not going to be much of a factor at all. So in a PPR league, you still have to grade him as a high-end running back too, no matter how much he puts on the ground. But here's the thing, guys. Especially in a standard league, Derrick Henry, if you're going to make a futures bet on who's going to have the most touchdowns, no matter the position in all of football, I think it's going to be Derrick Henry. I mean, keep in mind, you had a double-digit rushing touchdown performance last year from Gus Edwards, who was like basically can't even hold the jock as a player to Derrick Henry. And now you have Derrick Henry in this new Todd Monken Ravens offense that doesn't allow Lamar Jackson to run in short scores. Anybody who owned Lamar Jackson last season knows how frustrating it was that, they got down to the 1-2 yard line and they gave it to Gus Edwards almost every time. Now you have a more accomplished back in Derrick Henry who has an even bigger nose for the end zone. So if Edwards did what he did last year, Derrick Henry absolutely could rush for 15 touchdowns this season and approach 1,200 yards. They're still going to run the ball a lot. The Ravens, and this is again why I have concerns about Lamar Jackson, they had the second lowest rate of passes last season. I think it was just behind San Francisco and Brock Purdy. And that's another reason why you have to be careful of Brock Purdy as well, because margin of error, I've always talked about this, when you throw such few passes, especially Purdy, who doesn't run, Lamar Jackson's going to have to run for a lot of yards weekly to get his numbers. But Derrick Henry's going to eat. He is going to get a lot of touchdowns. So even in a PPR league, and he's going to slip in drafts because of his age. He's 30. I mean, let's face it, that's old for a running back, no doubt about it. But I think he's got one more year in him where he's really going to put up some big numbers. And like I said, he's not a total zero in the passing game, but that's not going to, you don't draft him anticipating anything there. So I think Derrick Henry, if you're making a futures bet, most touchdowns in the NFL, that's the guy I would pick. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button. More videos on the way soon.